Hi golfers, Nick here from Nick Taylor Golf. It's Friday, so welcome to another lesson on golf tips. This week on golf tips we're going to talk about how we create power in the stack and tilt golf swing. Recently I did a video talking about the wrench. If you've not seen that, check it out. So a question I get asked quite a lot in the stack and tilt golf swing, there's no weight shift, so how do we create power? Which is a valid question. Obviously if I wanted to create the most speed or the most power, I would probably take a run up to smash that ball. But we want to hit a shot which is controlled and has power. So how do we create power using the stack and tilt golf swing? Because obviously there's no weight shift to the back leg to go through. There is a weight shift, but it stays on the left and moves forward. So that's where the weight shift is. So I'm going to talk about how we create power. One of the things to note is when we play golf, golf clubs are bent. So we play golf on an angle. If the clubs were upright, so vertical, the club would move up and down in a straight line, which is not going to create much power. I'm not going to be able to hit this ball very far if I swing the sweet spot up and down that line. So the first thing to note is we swing on an arc. And a good analogy is a soccer player. If he's trying to hit this ball or football, they would swing their leg in an arc to create power. They're not going to swing up and down to create power. They may do that for control, but to create power they're going to swing on an arc, and it's the same in the golf swing. We want to swing in an arc. So the first thing is the club's design is bent, so the sort of the plane angle is like that. So we want to swing around our body in an arc. So that's one way to create power. A good way to think about that is if I was to swing back, if my club head is inside my hands here, there's a big gap between the club head and the ball. Whereas if I put the club head sort of in line with the target line, although it's the same point of the swing, at that point it's closer to the ball, so it's not going to create as much power. So swinging on an arc is important, and swinging a little bit from the inside is important, as opposed to swinging across. So that's one way to get power. Another way to get power is by turning the body correctly. And in the stack and tilt golf swing we talk about how the knee flex changes. So in the backswing, the left knee bends forward, the right leg straightens. That opens up the hips to turn, and as a result enables the shoulders to turn. Good example, Bubba Watson, Dustin Johnson, two of the longest hitters on tour, their knee flex changes the most. In their backswing, their trail leg is almost dead straight. So by turning the hips, that enables the shoulders to turn, and it enables you to get the left arm to travel around the body to create power. So that's one thing. The knee flex changing opens up the hips, enables you to turn. We'll take a look at the swing from face on. A lot of golfers, when they try and turn, they sort of turn like this. But the problem with that is they're turning, staying in flexion. So what I mean by that is their chest is sort of pointing down as they go back. Whereas if you look at the best golfers, their chest goes up like this. This is what you call going into extension. So as you swing back, the chest sort of goes up this way, and they turn their shoulders in a circle at a right angle to the amount they're tilted over. So like this, they don't turn their shoulders level to the ground, like that. Best players turn like this, so their chest points up. So that's a way of extending, and that's a way of sort of creating power, and that enables you to get the left arm to travel further around the body to create power. So the way the body moves is important. The way the knee flex changes, that helps you turn the hips. Another important part, going back to the knee flex, we talked about how hitting the ball from the inside is going to create power on the arc. The more you allow your knee flex to change, the easier it's going to be to bring your hands inwards. If I was to keep my knees locked, not only does that restrict my turn, but the arms will start to lift like that. classic over the top, classic swinging across the golf ball. So we want to be swinging on an arc, knee flex changes, and the way our shoulders turn is important as well. Another key component to create power is in the follow through. As we swing through, our hips push through like that. So again, that is our body going into extension, so the chest sort of pointing up. We don't stay in flexion all the way through the swing. That's a way of hitting the ball the shortest. So our spine is always changing. Extension, back into flexion, and extension. So our hips pushing forward is a big lever of power there. You can see hips pushing forward, that's a big source of power. I'm not just going to the top and turning, I'm pushing. So having some sort of hip slide in the downswing is a key component to create power. So the way the body moves in the backswing and in the follow through, the way we turn our body, all these are ways of creating power. Like I said at the beginning of the video, if I wanted to hit the ball the furthest, wasn't interested about connection or strike, then I would literally take a run up and hit this golf ball. I want to be able to have a swing which is repeatable and creates power. So swinging on an arc is important, making sure we turn our body effectively to enable us to get the left arm to move around the body far enough to create power. You don't see many short hitters swinging to here. A lot of them are up here. Take Dustin Johnson for example, one of the longest hitters on tour. His left arm is almost up here somewhere, and the way he turns his body is a good example of someone who moves their body effectively, knee flex changing, the chest extending as they go back. So he's a very good example of someone that creates a lot of power by the way they move their body. Dustin Johnson doesn't create power by moving over to here and back through to left on the follow through. So golfers, if you've got any comments on that or any questions, post them in the box below, or you can catch them on other social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Knee flex changing, hands coming inwards, chest extending.